I saw her before she saw me. The barn door was cracked, moonlight spilling through like a wound, and there she was, my daughter, curled in straw, her wrist cuffed to a rusted chain bolted into the wall. A dog chain, a farm animal's chain. Her hair clung to her face with sweat, eyes hollow, and for a moment I thought she was gone. Then her lips parted, and I heard her whisper, my name. That's when he stepped in behind me, smelling of earth and whiskey. "Animals stay with animals," he said. His voice was casual, almost proud, as if he'd just told me what kind of feed he used for his hogs. I didn't answer. I just stared at him until the silence pressed too hard, until he looked away first. And that was enough. I cut the chain. My daughter stumbled into my arms, trembling, fragile, but alive. We vanished that night, and that's when his phone rang. I remember the first day I met him. My daughter had brought him home, smiling in that way only young love can summon, unguarded, foolish. He wore boots that were too clean, a smile that was too sharp. I told myself it was just my own suspicion, a father's possessive instinct. But there was something behind his eyes I didn't like. Not anger, not yet. Something colder, calculation. He was polite, yes, too polite. He flattered me, told me he wanted to take care of her, build a life with her on his family's land. He talked about barns and livestock like they were holy things, the earth itself his altar. And she believed him. God help me, so did I. The signs came later. A bruise on her wrist, from a gate. A limp, from tripping in the barn. Her voice, once full of light, dimming in every call. I knew. A parent always knows. The truth broke me when I found her diary hidden under the floorboard of her old room. I had stopped by her place while she was out, something in my gut gnawing at me. I shouldn't have pried, but I did. Her words, they weren't just confessions, they were pleas written in silence. Notes about the chains, the locked barn, how he made her sleep in hay because princesses don't deserve beds if they can't act like wives. I read every line, and my hands didn't shake, not once. Because anger didn't come, not yet. Only clarity. I didn't storm his house. I didn't scream or call the police. That would have been easy, predictable. No, I planned. Quietly. I spoke to people, bankers, his suppliers, his neighbors who whispered about debt, about how the farm wasn't what it seemed. I found documents he thought were buried. I learned what he owed, what he feared losing, what kept him awake at night when even whiskey couldn't drown it. Money, land, reputation. Those were his gods. And gods are easy to kill. So when I cut my daughter free and we disappeared into the night, his phone rang. A voice on the other end told him his loans had been called in, every cent. Immediately. His livestock, sold. His accounts, frozen. His name circulated in town as a man who beat his wife and chained her like an animal. I didn't need to raise my hand to him. I didn't need to shout. I let his world collapse in silence, one brick at a time. The last time I saw him was 3 days later. He was standing in front of what used to be his barn, shouting into the wind as men in uniforms loaded his animals onto trucks. His face was red, not from sunburn but from panic. His hands shook, not from work but from fear. He saw me then, across the road, my daughter beside me, wrapped in a coat, finally free. He shouted my name. He cursed me, promised he'd rebuild, that I hadn't won. But his voice cracked, and I smiled, because he understood, finally, what I had done. I hadn't just taken my daughter. I had taken his kingdom. Do I regret it? No. He thought chains would keep her, but chains rust. Love does not. He thought fear would silence me, but silence is where I sharpen my knives. He thought he was a man of the land, but the land does not belong to those who poison it. My daughter sleeps in a bed now, clean sheets, a locked door, but from the inside, her hand on the key. She is healing. And he? Well, I hear his nights are spent in cheap motels, begging for loans, looking over his shoulder at a town that now spits at the mention of his name. That is justice. Not loud, not bloody, but final. I once told my daughter, love is like a seed. You plant it, water it, and pray it grows. Her husband planted chains instead. He thought control was stronger than love. He was wrong. And if he ever doubts it, all he has to do is pick up the phone again. Because I still have friends. And I'm not finished.